that could not be more timely. Our very first Crisis Award is designed to recognize someone who has taken extraordinary action during an urgent crisis affecting large numbers of children. And right now, we all have seen what is happening in the Middle East. We are proud to offer this award in partnership with UNICEF USA, who has matched our gift on a dollar-to-dollar basis. Thank you, Carol Stern. You are a true angel. And board members of UNICEF. Thank you for your generosity. And thank you, Rachel Roy. You are also an angel, for your efforts in raising funds so urgently for this award. We have all seen the horrible and traumatic images from Syria and Iraq, where children have been so terribly impacted, and it is something that I think all of us will never forget for the rest of our lives, these images and stories that are coming out of these countries. This inspiring and incredible woman has seen these wars up close with her own eyes and can no longer look away from the innocent children. Please watch this video.
Arwa Damon is a highly decorated journalist for CNN and has been in the midst of the fighting, putting her life at risk, but unwilling to succumb to the inevitability of the damage being done to the children of war, both physically and psychologically. This was Yousuf, one of those consequences of war.
We reported his story. The outpouring of support came from across the globe, and Yousuf and his family ended up in Los Angeles.
This is Arwa Damon, a woman who refused to accept the inevitable.
By the time he came to our office along with his father, his face had hardened into these scars of tissue that just weren't moving, and he could barely feed himself 1 grain of rice at a time.
For the past dozen years in Iraq and 6 years in Syria, the one constant for children has been the pain and suffering of war. Since 2014, the other constant has been the hope that if they can get to Arwa and her team at Inara, they have a chance at life. Arwa founded Inara because of her experience with Yousuf, and thanks to her intervention, dozens of children like him coming out of Syria and Iraq with catastrophic war wounds have been rehabilitated and given a chance at life. For Arwa, the path is clear. Either the children will remain victims or they become whole. Either they grow up with anger or they grow up with hope. Either they end up as forgotten collateral damage or they become testaments to the loving care of a world they never knew existed.
Please welcome to the stage Arwa Damon, and with her, a young man whose trajectory of life she forever altered, Yousuf.
Okay. Arwa means everything to me and my family. And I think without her help, I wouldn't be here in this great place. She left a mark on our hearts that will never go away. I was 5 years old when CNN first did my story. And then my family and I flew to America with Arwa. I would be an entirely different person if I had stayed in Iraq and not gotten the medical help I received here. People have been so kind and generous to me and my family. Superman is one of my favorite superheroes because he also struggled to fit in and was different. But in the end, he was accepted and made his mark. And I can somehow relate to that. My doctor, thank you. My doctor helped me, and in that way, he was my role model. I always and still want to be a doctor, because I want to help others in the way that I was helped. When I heard about Inara, I felt so happy, especially to hear that other children, like myself, are getting the help that they need. It's so hard to describe what it means to me and my family. There are so many other children from Iraq and Syria and other places that need help. All children should be able to have the chance to make their dreams come true. I wanted to thank everyone who supported me and all those who are supporting Inara, UNICEF, and the world of children.
Thank you. I think what's so amazing about this moment is that Yousuf doesn't really realize how much he's giving all of us with respect to what we have given him and his family. At the time that we did, I'm sorry, I'm supposed to be this like tough war zone correspondent, and I'm like, I'm a bit emotional right now. At the time that we did Yousuf's story, the Baghdad Bureau was in a bit of a dark place. It was 2007, and viewers didn't really care about Iraq anymore, and our Iraqi staff really felt abandoned, and they felt as if this violence was happening within their own country, and nobody cared. Nobody cared about the death and the suffering. And then we did the story about this one little boy, and the outpouring of support was so incredible, not just in terms of changing Yousuf's life, but in terms of changing all of our lives. He showed our Iraqi staff that there were people out there who we may not hear about every day, who may not reach us every single day, but who are watching and who actually cared enough to do something. Yousuf came to America because the Children's Burn Foundation, actually here in Los Angeles and Sherman Oaks, took on his case, but also because hundreds of thousands of CNN viewers donated to his cause. It was the kindness of strangers that brought him here. And for our Iraqi staff at the time, and for those of us who were reporting the story of Iraq at the time, to see that the journalism was resonating, even on the fundamental human level, maybe not on the political level, but on the human level, it was resonating. People were actually listening enough to care about a little boy. That meant the world to us. It was incidentally at around a similar sort of time in December of last year when all of the violence was happening in Aleppo, when the bombardment was a complete constant, when after 6+ years of reporting on Syria, a lot of us were questioning ourselves as to what was the point of journalism? What kind of a world do we live in when we can report on something day in and day out when the images are there and we're still not creating change, we're not generating change, we're not galvanizing the public? That I first got in touch, or rather Harry and Kay first got in touch with me and told me about this award. And I remember when we first actually spoke, it was a little bit later, it was in January, and I was trying to get into Syria, and I was right along the Syria-Turkey border, still struggling to try to find a way to get people to care enough beyond retweeting a story or liking it on Facebook or on a bunch of other social media forms that I don't really understand because I'm a bit too old. But, you know, we spoke, and World of Children reminded me that kindness and compassion is still out there. And they showed me that even if the culmination of my career, and I used to think that the culmination of my career was just going to be to tell Yousuf's story, and that was enough for me, to tell one boy's story, because I know he is going to do great, and I know he's going to give back. But they reminded me that the culmination of my story was actually greater than that, because he inspired me to start this organization, and they are giving me a platform along with the support of course, the U.S. Fund for UNICEF, and so many of you here tonight. I mean, Rachel, if I don't look like I normally look on TV, it's thanks to you. But they really reminded me that there is this kindness and compassion that is out there, and together we truly can make a difference. And I know we are all here tonight because we fundamentally believe that. We will not allow the failures of our global leaders to allow humanity to fail. That is why we are here tonight, and we fundamentally believe that. of course, where would the children be without their parents? It was Yousuf's father who went door to door, ministry to ministry, looking for help for his little boy, who eventually got it because he happened to cross Siena. And I would not be where I am today without one person in my life, my mother, Mama, who I do not thank often enough or strongly enough, who gave me my independence, who gave me my capacity to fight, my refusal to accept defeat, which is again why I am here today. And so I thank you all. I thank World of Children, I thank UNICEF, I thank all of you who have donated to support me and to support all of the other causes who are out there for the children tonight, because it's not just about us or about Syria, it is about the kids. We cannot live in a world where we abandon our children. I don't want to live in that kind of a world, and I don't think anyone who's here tonight does either. And so I thank you for not allowing a sense of futility to silence or stop us, because we will allow humanity to prevail. Thank you.